I jumped behind a mass of cacti and activated subversive stealth as my companion, Sume, hovered above my head. Her wings were spread to keep her aloft, even though she could just as easily float while curled into a ball.
"It's tracing your centriole, Adrian. You've got about 10 seconds before it comes over the ridge,"
Sume sent. Our telepathic connection and her invisibility made it easy for her to spy while I stayed in hiding. My short brown hair and tan skin would once have been my only reasons to believe I might remain invisible. When the system arrived, I had given up my humanity to become a polymorph, able to change form and hide in plain sight. Now, my carefully reconstructed human appearance allowed me to fit in, and I was grateful for it. My best friend, Taesong, caught my eye and offered an encouraging thumbs up as he crouched behind a drop-off. He held his soul-bound swords ready to attack. As a level 21 twin-blade defender, his job was to block the level 60 milliscorpion on my tail, preventing it from hitting me as I lured it into our trap. The creature had been prowling the mountain above our remote boarding school's property for the last few days. We had decided to trap it on our own terms instead of waiting for it to surprise us. My mana ticked upward as I waited for the signal to run.
"It's here! Go!"
Sume swooped toward the path I'd already mapped during our practice run. I activated environmental barrier, and the concealing cacti collapsed around me, flattened by a surge of mana. My body absorbed the plant's fluids in a revitalizing rush as the residue bonded to my skin for an extra few points of protection. Using speed boost, I leaped across the deeply carved stream bed at the cliff base and clambered upward.
"Left! Stinger incoming!"
Sume sent. I dodged along a narrow, crumbling ledge, and a burst of stones rattled against my armor as the tail struck beside me. Already running low, my mana drained rapidly, forcing me to release environmental barrier before the fibers could revert to shredding my skin. A cascade of thorns rattled toward the dry stream bed below. When I glanced down to check my progress, I realized the milliscorpion had made it partway up the cliff behind me. Taesong balanced on its back, his sword slicing at the joints of its tail. Hoping to distract the creature, I leaned to spit my own venom into its face. It jolted back, lost its grip, and skidded onto its side in the crevice below. I jumped to safety as Taesong sprang away, leaving the stinger dangling by a thread. He flung himself behind a massive boulder as Cher launched Smite. A wave of light erupted from the earth beside me. On its own, the area effect spell wouldn't have caused much damage to the milliscorpion, but the cliff was another matter. A pulse shuddered through the ledge beneath me as the surface almost seemed to liquefy, and the truck-sized rock at the top tilted precariously. Dust billowed over the scene as a series of loud snaps, followed by a deep rumble, filled the air. I scrambled to find an unaffected location as my perch cracked and shuddered. When the air cleared enough to see again, I gave a sigh of relief. The landslide had pinned the milliscorpion in the crevice, so even the lower-level kids could safely participate in the kill. Its tail segment still swung violently free of the rubble, but Taesong was already in motion to continue his initial task as the others ran to back him up. Cher lit up. As a level 19 holy warrior, her armor of God skill coated her in literally shining mana armor, and she drew her radiant sword perk from storage. Her golden ponytail bounced as she jumped down the hillside to join the rest in bashing the writhing creature to death. I relaxed into my new role, keeping an eye out for anything that might be lured in by the battle while everyone was distracted. Sume curled her lizard-like tail around my neck, offering a running telepathic commentary on the fight below. I tuned her out for the most part, assuming our plan would continue to work. We had enough experience by now that I knew everyone fought well as a team, and it was rare to have a moment of privacy to consider my situation. I was beginning to feel more and more useless as everyone leveled. My morphed claws weren't strong enough to pierce the level 50 or higher monsters dominating the area. Frontline fighting wasn't my strong point anyway. I needed some kind of ranged weapon that would mesh well with my skills, and all the guns were taken. At least my class would never paint a glowing target on my back, but hiding wasn't of much help in a fight. Several of our party members cheered over gaining a level when the milliscorpion finally died. Distracted from my thoughts, I looked to see if anyone had poison debuffs for me to purge, but everyone was already regenerating, some with the help of Marcus's minor healing.